Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone joining from wherever you're joining. You seem to be interested in knowing more about incorporating in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to Startup Destination series. It's a webinar series that is shedding light on a variety of startup ecosystems, and we've been focusing in this chapter on Saudi Arabia. So in the last two webinars, we had an overview of the Saudi startup ecosystem. We have presented experiences. We have talked about startups who have set up their businesses in Saudi, who grew and went IPO in Saudi. We've talked about startups who have raised funds in Saudi, and how does this work? What type of opportunities and possibilities are available out there to raise funds for international startups? So this webinar series is targeting international startups everywhere, the global startup community that is keen on discovering what's happening in different ecosystems for their own expansion and their own growth. This webinar is a very special one since it's brought to you in partnership with Qabastech, our partner, an amazing Saudi company specialized in digital transformation and innovation. Very keen on and looking forward to telling you more about Qabastech and about the partnership BetaWaves Qabastech in very soon, inshallah. So we're having today, let me tell you first quickly about who we are and why we're doing this. So BetaWaves is an innovation powerhouse, as we like to call ourselves. So we enable organizations through skills and innovation programs. We build, invest, and grow tech startups across frontier and emerging markets. So we support startups, SMEs, and corporates, government agencies with programs that are designed to bring value to these ecosystems, to drive innovation and foster growth. We build our own startups, like a startup studio, and then we also invest in startups through our investment vehicle. We're building our investment arm to invest in B2B climate tech startups across the Middle East and Africa region. And this webinar series is a series, as the name can tell. So we've started in October telling you about the startup ecosystem in Saudi Arabia, and then we'll keep telling more about Saudi in January and February before moving to other ecosystems, and expect to see us also live in partnership with Qabastech and other players of the ecosystem in the coming sessions, probably also as part of the events happening in Leap. We hope to see you there as well. So this webinar is about expanding your business, so opening the Saudi market, selling in Saudi. We'd like to discover and explore with experts of the Saudi market what it actually means for an international business, for an international startup to expand to Saudi. And we're privileged
I think something's wrong with her. Hi, Emil, back again. We couldn't hear you.
You lost me.
Yeah, we lost you for a while.
Oh my God. Okay. So we'll do that with, can you still see the background or you can't?
Yeah, we can see the background, but not the presentation, yes.
But not the presentation. Never mind. So I'll just go through quickly the list of our distinguished speakers for today. So we have Dr. Dalia Samra Rote, who is the delegate of the German Industry and Commerce Chamber for Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Yemen, giving us an overview of the Saudi market perceived by an international player. And then we have the privilege to have the perspective of Munsha'at, brought to us by Saud Al Hussein, who is manager of digital initiatives at Munsha'at, the Small and Medium Enterprises General Authority in Saudi. And then we'll have Maria Zorbi from Astrolabs. She is Senior Talent Acquisition Consultant to tell us about Saudization and what this actually means for you, for your business as a startup, what it actually means when it comes to hiring, what it actually means when it comes to your, even for your financial plan, does this have an impact, etc. So Maria will tell us more about that. Mohammed El Samis from Levari Law will tell us so the practicalities of setting up your business, what this actually means from a legal perspective, all what it. So we would like this webinar series always to be as practical as possible, so that you know what you should do and what you shouldn't do, from a business ownership perspective, etc., etc. So, and then we have, as usual, our panel conversation with testimonials from two startups. So we have Cleo Labs, the innovators of in the real estate, by Rémi Joris, who is the founder of Cleo Labs, exchanging thoughts and ideas with Ziad Boufadden, who is the founder and CEO of Technosor. So Technosor empowering organizations to navigate their data and digital transformation. So with this, I'm very happy to get our conversation started with Dr. Dalia Rote. She is, again, the delegate of the German Industry and Commerce in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Yemen since 2019. So we can really rely on Dalia so that she can share in-depth knowledge about the market. She has been recognized as a key enabler for market entry strategies in the region. So if you are planning to enter the market, you have a reference person here.
Again, I think there is a problem with the internet connection. So
should I try to just start maybe, or?
Yes, you can go ahead. I will stop the recording, and I think Emil is back.
Okay, then I will start.
So now we're back to recording, and we're happy now to hand over, without further ado to Saud Al Hussein, who is Manager of Digital Initiatives at Munsha'at, the Small and Medium Enterprises General Authority in Saudi Arabia. So Saud is an experienced and versatile professional with proven track record in driving initiatives of digital transformation, emerging technologies, as well as e-commerce, managing and developing essential digital initiatives, programs, and projects within Munsha'at. Welcome, Saud. Very happy to have you here. And with that, we hand over immediately to you.
Hi, assalamu alaikum. I hope everybody is all right today. And thank you so much for hosting me. It's just so amazing to see how other people have their perspective and point of view about Saudi Arabia. It adds a lot to me itself to understand more about the market, since we are at Small and Medium Enterprises Authority, always work in order to support and enable companies that are local to be enhanced more and get more access to the market. So I'll start with my presentation today about what we do in Munsha'at. And to start off with that, the introductory will be about the strategy sector in Munsha'at, which is dedicated to enhancing the efficiency, performance, and quality of its services and programs. And to achieve this, it has developed an integrated guide that serve as a comprehensive reference for defining, documenting, and improving all Munshaat services. The key objectives of this guide include, first of all, defining and describing service, which is clearly outlines the details and purposes of all services that are provided within a Munshaat. The second one, ownership and accountability, that identifies the ownership of services and programs across different sectors in Munshaat. When we talk about different sectors, we'll start with, we say first of all, strategy, and then we go to e-commerce, retail sector, education, health, etc., etc., etc. Documentation to consolidate and document all the services and programs to ensure transparency and ease of access and ease of the meaning of ease of access is the ease of access into the market. And then the channels of delivery that highlights Munshaat services delivery channels and map out the services offered through each. This approach ensures structured management and continuous improvement to Munshaat offerings and to align with its strategic objectives. We have so many services that we offer in Munshaat, and these services can enable and support other services or products as well within the Munshaat channels. We have about 15 subcategory, and we have 55 services that we provide in Munshaat. And then we'll start with the first ones that, let's say, the main points that, or the main gates to Munshaat. Munshaat initiatives that support and infrastructure of Munshaat. It will start with the partners to collaborate and collaborate a partnership with the various stakeholders and to enhance the entrepreneur ecosystem and to provide resource of SMEs. I take an example for this is to have a partnership with the E-commerce Council of Saudi Arabia. E-commerce Council is there to regulate and to monitor e-commerce in Saudi Arabia. And in Munshaat, we partner with the E-commerce Council to have more access in regulatory of e-commerce worldwide and to bring it back to Saudi Arabia and enhance it to be fit to the market. Also, ease of doing business, that will be partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. It is dedicated office established in collaboration with Chamber of Commerce around Saudi Arabia to simplify and facilitate businesses processes for SMEs. The entrepreneurship hubs, physical hubs designed to foster entrepreneurship by providing workspaces, resources, and network opportunities for startups and small businesses. The CAS Center, which is like a smart center, a specialized innovative center focused on fostering creativity and leveraging technology to support SMEs in developing cutting-edge solutions. SME Support Center, comprehensive support center offering guidance, mentorship, and services tailored to meet the needs of small and medium and sized enterprises. This framework highlights Munshaat dedication to enabling SMEs by providing essential resources, partnerships, as well as innovation. If I go to the platforms and tools that we provide at Munshaat, first of all, the National E-commerce Platform. It is a comprehensive platform for facilitating and supporting e-commerce initiatives in Saudi Arabia, which goes to neb.gov. The second one, National Business Innovation Portal, Fikra, a portal dedicated to fostering business innovation and creativity among entrepreneurship. And it goes to Fikra, or like idea or a concept. The CAS Center or Smart Center website focus on leveraging advanced technologies and innovation to support SMEs in scaling their businesses, and it goes to the CAS Center. So each website in here goes under munshaat.gov, that is say. Munshaat website, this is the main hub for all Munshaat services and programs, offering resources and information for entrepreneurs and businesses. Nawafid Munshaat application, a mobile application available in App Store and Google Play, providing ease of doing business as well as easy access to Munshaat services and tools. A franchise center website, a platform designed to support and promote franchise opportunities, connecting franchisees and franchisors as well. Tamuh platform, which is a scale-up program, a platform aimed to helping SMEs scale their operations through mentorship, training, and access to resources. And then last but not least, Munshaat Academy website, which we are celebrating in Munshaat for licensing the Munshaat Academy through the education or the Electronic Education Authority. It's an educational platform that offers courses, training, and resources to develop entrepreneurship skills. This list highlights all the digital ecosystem designed to empower entrepreneurs and SMEs through resources and innovation. As I mentioned before, we have 18, I said 15, no, it's 18 service category, and then 55 services that are offered by Munshat. I'll start with the Munshat program and services into business accelerators. Munshat offer accelerators throughout the year to support the growth of emerging entrepreneur and companies, and it is offered within 3 to 6 months by providing workspaces, consulting, and training services. The channels that go through Munshat website and startup hubs. The business incubators, such as university startup projects, focus on developing university projects for 3 months to help them succeed in investment round. The same will be the channels like Munshat website and the university themselves. Capacity development for university startups. It offers 3 incubators in Riyadh and Al Qasim region and Al Ahsa region to support and grow prototype owners into successful businesses over 6 months. And the channels will be on Munshat website and then the Munshat partners whoever join us in this program. And then the training programs, which is Munshat Academy programs, I just mentioned, the training camps, short-term camps to share knowledge and build small and medium enterprises capabilities over a minimum of 4 days. And the main channels will be through Munshat website and then owner awareness of program for entrepreneurship, which aims to educate and motivate university staff and students to transform ideas into business models through structured program. So all programs that are actually offered via Munshat website. And then I continue with the service category, consulting and guidance, and then start with the consulting, which is one session with specialized consultants. The guidance, which are sessions with expert mentors and businessmen to share commercial insights and experiences. Emerging technology consultant, which goes to the experts or the smart expert free consultations on advanced technologies to help entrepreneurs model solutions to launch products. And then when you go to the organizing exhibition and forums, BBAN forum, which was held early of November. It's a global initiative to enhance communication and knowledge sharing among entrepreneurs and SMEs locally, regionally, internationally. And just a small point, I hope all the people search for BBAN, read about it, and if you believe you want to join us next year, you can join us next year and present your businesses in BBAN forum. E-commerce tour, which was held in 2023 and early 2024, workshops and training camps dedicated to e-commerce development. This e-commerce tour was in all over Saudi Arabia. We visited 14 places or 14 cities to offer and make awareness of e-commerce. Scale-up program, which I talked about just earlier, and then we go into the challenges entitled "Challenges of Specialized Team at Munshat identifies challenges facing SMEs, study them, and collaborate with government agencies to resolve all the issue." More on that, I stay in the knowledge notes provided by Munshat Innovation Library, a collection of knowledge materials and practical reports to support skill development. And then the channels will be, of course, Munshat website, the library as well. It goes to emerging technologies, and then the market insights and publication about e-commerce, which provide the latest statistics data on e-commerce through Saudi Arabia. And this goes through the Ministry of Commerce, the Council, the E-commerce Council, the Telecommunication Authority, and other authorities in Saudi Arabia to have the right numbers for entrepreneurs to understand the e-commerce market. Success story and case studies, a collection of stories from successful SMEs in Saudi Arabia, whether they are Saudis or not. Open data that is offered by Munshat, a set of public machine, readable information available to the public, and Business Atlas, which was launched in 2019. It's an interactive map offering data and indicators for various sectors across Saudi region. So this you go by map. It's like Google Map, but it's only for business. You click on the road, You choose the sector and what kind of business, and then it shows you all the retail stores in one road or in a whole city, how many of them, their CRs, their employment numbers, etc., etc. And then retail sector reports, which is bi-monthly or sorry, periodic reports on retail activities that would include wholesale, trade, and accommodation sector as well. And then I go to the innovation library, but to the sorry, for the I'll jump because some of them are repeated. I'll go to the e-commerce guides. So for the e-commerce guides, it offers essential tools and resources for entrepreneurs and business owners. So sometimes when we have large companies outside, I'll take an example like big commerce. So when they looked at Saudi market, and we talked to them, they said it's enhancing. E-commerce is going very fast in Saudi Arabia. It's going very fast. Last year, we were one of the 10 countries that are growing in terms of e-commerce. However, it's still a new market. It's going very fast, still a new market. So there's a great opportunity. And that's why we offer e-commerce guides for the entrepreneurs as well as for the small and medium enterprises. And we choose what kind of guides we offer for them depending on their stage into businesses. Self-evaluation questionnaire, it's a tool that help entrepreneurs to assess their knowledge, experience, and readiness to adopt e-commerce. So we don't want anyone to just go into e-commerce without understanding or without knowing at what stage they are. We want them to assess themselves, their skills, their knowledge, and then it's either to enhance and choose what to enhance on and where their strengths and weaknesses. And then in order to support SMEs, we have the Jadir service, which connects SMEs with purchasing opportunities from public sector organizations and major private companies. And then we have collective intelligence challenges, which encourages entrepreneurs and talented individuals to create innovative solutions for companies and government agencies. Innovation challenges, which focuses on solving major enterprise challenges in Saudi Arabia. Intelligence opportunities, it's the opposite of the challenges, provide the chances to develop scalable solution for projects. So we have two programs, that one is just focused on the challenges and one is focusing for the opportunities of the challenges. And then I move to Mazaya platform. Mazaya is a great platform that connects service providers with businesses offering discounted or subsidized services to help SMEs. So one example from Mazaya platform, there's this company, they wanted a service that can enable them to access database of customers, local customers, but they can't because they have to go through the government. So they found this program, but it's costly. It did cost about 90 or 80,000 riyal. But then through Munshaat and Mazaya platform, we discounted this from that number to 95% discount. And that was with the support of the other company that is responsible for the platform. So this is one of the benefits of Mazaya platform. E-commerce packages, customized packages for SMEs to access various e-commerce services. But this one, the Qabastech technology offers and discounts is close to Mazaya platform, but it only focuses on emerging technology services, and innovative enterprises. Issuing a facility size certificate. So right now, if you are a company that is going to a project with a government entity, they will ask you to have a facility size certificate, and this certificate will give you a privilege or 1 point forward to have to be elected to have to be within the people that or the companies for such a project. And then business incubators licenses. So from Munshaat, we introduced the business incubator licenses to issue license for establishing business incubators, accelerators, and that would be physical as well as online. And then for the shared workspaces, we offer shared and private office spaces for startups and entrepreneurs, including equipped offices, logistical support, and access to workshops and meeting with companies. Spaces for commercial cobblers that provides a joint store in Riyadh to showcase SMEs products. Hopefully we go to the other cities as well soon. And then we have the emerging technologies services, because we understood that the market actually is trending towards emerging technologies for the past few years. So we have to be with them, with the trend, not to just let it go without being there. So through the CA community, which is smart community, we open a platform for sharing emerging technology trends with community through group meetings, influencers, and experts. So this could be a small sentence. However, the impact we saw, example for myself, I saw so many examples for companies that benefited from the CA community, and some companies just started and then they have the idea or the chance to grow and have ease of access to the market in terms of emerging technologies with different sectors in Saudi Arabia. It's all through this community. Supporting innovators in emerging technologies and provide logistical and technical support for prototype ideas, hosting competition, and adopting outcomes at the CA Center. And the CA Pioneers Program, which is a 2-month intensive program for innovative enterprises offering direct guidance and performance evaluation by experts. I go to the interactive business innovation journey, which offers free and paid services for commercial innovations, investing in innovative titles. Entities highlight Saudi innovative enterprises that are ready for investment. And then we go to the annual reward innovative. It's recognized as establishments that adopt emerging technologies or innovations in products, services, business models, or operation. Commercial franchise registration, which facilitates that registration and management of commercial franchises. And then franchise, which is the Tumooh program of franchise. So we have several, we have different Tumooh programs that would be ease of doing business for e-commerce, and this one is for franchise, which aims to develop brands for the Saudi market by increasing the number of operational franchise brands. And some brands actually through Tumooh went from Saudi Arabia to the Gulf. We just last month, so one of the breakfast restaurants went from Saudi Arabia to open their franchise branch in Doha, in Qatar. Qualification and licensing of franchise brokers, that provides a program to qualify and license brokers in the commercial franchise sector. And then franchise manager, it's a term that we use to help brands develop an active franchise management system through training and advisory services. Then for the friendly settlement, it's facilities that have the resolution of disputes between franchise and a grantor. So it's always in business, there are some disputes. So we are already starting to have the solution and resolution center for any dispute that might come in the future. Showcasing brands of their franchise opportunities, displays trademarks, investment opportunities, and then the e-commerce event calendar, which is it happens once or twice a yearly, keeps users informed about upcoming e-commerce related events that would be in Saudi Arabia or internationally. And then the innovation calendar, which publishes dates and details of events in Saudi Arabia that is about businesses related to anything that in innovation, such as the CA Center and its activities. So 55 services, that's a lot, but a lot in a good way, and with 18 subcategories. As you see, we have so much in-depth services that we provide to SMEs. And the SMEs can be local and international. Through BBAN, as an example, we support international companies to come to Saudi Arabia and see by themselves the ecosystem of business infrastructure in Saudi Arabia. As I mentioned, if you might be interested in participating in BBAN, or you want to get in connection with Munshat, you are most welcome. We'll be glad to actually go and support you to be in here. Thank you so much.
This is amazing. Thank you very much, Saud. So 55 services. Now you have to repeat them all by heart without looking at the slides.
Actually, I do, but I'll take more time.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So thank you very much for this. This is exactly what we needed. Very practical information, practical insights for the attendees. And
not to interrupt, I will make sure to share the PowerPoint with you in case it's needed.
Thank you very much. And the recording is going to be shared on the BetaWaves LinkedIn page. So follow us there if you're interested in the recording. You'll find the slides as well in the recording. But feel free to reach out to us if you would like to connect with Munshaat. And then we'll be also sharing the link to BBAN in the chat so that you know about the event, because so most of the attendees would probably know about LEAP, but less about BBAN, even though BBAN is such an amazing event as well. So one question to you, Saud. So looking ahead, what's the vision? What do you think is the vision of the Saudi Arabia startup ecosystem 5-10 years from now? And how is Munshaat evolving to attract and support international startups? So it's actually two questions in one.
Yeah. So we go with the trends every time. We don't stop. And then we try to look at the sectors in the ecosystem that actually need support from Munshaat. I'll go because I'm more focused and more experts into digitization and digital initiatives. In 2021, we have an aim that about 15% of companies go through digital transformation. 2021. However, by 2022, we exceeded that number. I think we reached about 35 to 40% of digital transformation. And even some medium-sized companies in retail sector, they started to offer their products in the UK, in Canada, in different countries, not only in Saudi Arabia, because of digital transformation that was offered by Munshaat and the services that were offered by other authorities as well. So in terms of that, we always look for the next marketing move, and then we stay on it to make sure that we understand the market, the ecosystem, and what infrastructure that is needed to be enabled or to be brought and to be supporting here. So so this is how I look at it. We are into it almost. Next year, and we're starting from this year, what to do in 2025, what to do 2026, and what kind of initiatives that are no longer needed because the public or the other SMEs have more knowledge on it, and what other services that are needed right now for the companies in Saudi Arabia to have more knowledge and to need more access for it. And we work with that with several government entities, because in every country, each government entity is specialized in one is to license, for example, construction, one is for healthcare. So we work with them to understand their needs, and then we as Munshaat offer them the support, or we work to enable the companies to work in Saudi Arabia. So this is how I respond to the question.
Okay, brilliant. So checking very quickly the questions. There are questions about funding programs and acceleration programs that are offered in Saudi. We have already covered some of the or presented some of the programs that are available, plus how do you go about fundraising in Saudi in the first and second webinar. So check them. They are shared on our LinkedIn BetaWaves page, and they will be also shared on the Qabastech LinkedIn page. So maybe Saud, you'd like to add something there?
Yeah, I have two things. So today we have the initiative from Small and Medium Enterprises Bank, and they are offering to fund up to 15 million riyal. It's easy to fill out their form. They need few information, and then if you fit their criteria, they will add more. They will ask you for more information. So,
okay, but you have to be incorporated in Saudi Arabia, right?
You have to be incorporated in Saudi Arabia, and then through us in our department in Munshaat, and then with the collaboration with the finance department in Munshaat as well, we signed with 4 banks to have funding programs for e-commerce companies. Some of them, it goes to 8, 10, 15, 20, 25 million riyal. But however, you have to be incorporated in Saudi Arabia.
Cool. And we'll look in a few minutes about how to go about incorporating in Saudi Arabia. And with that, we thank you so much, Saud, for
You're
taking
welcome.
the time to speaking to
I'm happy. I'm glad.
entrepreneurs and to all the enthusiasts about the Saudi startup ecosystem. And hope to see you very soon
Yes.
in person in Riyadh.
Yes. Bye-bye. Have a good day
Thank
all.
you very much. And with that, Maria Zoghbi, we're ready for you. So Maria is a senior talent acquisition consultant at Astrolabs, and she will be tackling a topic that is so unknown, and so it's like always a surprise. So how do we navigate Saudization and the strategic hiring aspect in Saudi Arabia? This is so important to unlock the potential. I love the title, Maria. And then it's also very important to be aware of any risks for your business or any costs that are not that you haven't accounted for. So this and more we'll discover with Maria, who is a talent acquisition consultant specializing in managing the full recruitment life cycle with tailored strategies to meet specific hiring needs. And she has a hands-on expertise in recruitment, talent management, onboarding, and she excels in creating impactful talent acquisition strategies. So welcome. Very happy to have you here, Maria, Astrolabs, and let's go with Saudization.
Thank you so much for having me. Usually my topic when it comes to Saudization is a topic that not everyone likes to listen to it. So I'm happy that I got the platform to kind of advocate for the side of things and be able to at least support the companies that have still yet to expand to Saudi and kind of take a step back and help them figure out these kind of things before they go into the market and get surprised with the Saudization and how they need to budget for this. So I'll try to make it as short and sweet as possible, just not to overwhelm people with information. I'm happy to take this also offline later on if someone needs a bit of a deep dive. So I come from Astrolabs and I currently lead the recruitment efforts. So Astrolabs is one of the leading business growth companies where we support companies to expand to Saudi Arabia as well as to the UAE. We have expanded more than 700 companies today to Saudi Arabia. They come from multiple countries and multiple industries, either from construction, media, events, industry, business consulting, fintech, and e-commerce. I had the ability to kind of support big organizations as well as SMEs and startups to support them as much as possible when it comes to Saudization, keeping in mind that a lot of the companies that we have expanded are not from the region. They're not from MENA. They do not understand how things work in the MENA region. So kind of being able to support them and guide them has also given me a lot of guidance because Saudi is a market that is very agile, changes every single day. So you kind of need to be up to date and up to speed. So let's start with any company that is expanding to Saudi Arabia. One thing that they need to kind of understand very well is something called Saudization. We hear it a lot, but what does that actually mean? So Saudization is the Saudi nationalization scheme, something called nitaqat. So this is a policy that has been introduced by the Saudi government and specifically the Ministry of Labor in Saudi Arabia in alignment with the Vision 2030, where it asks and it requires any company that expands to Saudi to hire Saudi nationals on a specific quota basis. When we say quota basis, it means how many Saudi nationals have to be in the organization compared to the expats that you look to hire. So usually these quotas differ. There's no one size fits all. It differs depending on the industry, depending on the type of activity that you're looking to do in Saudi Arabia. It differs also from a company size perspective, and it also differs on how many expats you're looking to hire. So why this scheme has been set, basically this policy have been set in order for Saudi Arabia to reduce the reliance on expat workforce and also to align with Vision 2030. And again, it's a massive country. There's a lot of hidden gems, a lot of hidden talent in Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi government want to give a potential for the whole world to see what the Saudi people are capable of and how they will impact and add value in any organization that might enter Saudi to do business there. So to break it down a little bit, why Saudization is very important for businesses expanding to Saudi. So from a legal perspective, any company that basically expand to Saudi, they need to have specific Saudization quota because first of all, you will get incentives. So the incentives will be financial support, you will get a preferential treatment, you will be selected in case of any bidding on any projects in the kingdom, you will be favorized based on your nitaqat. So it has a lot of incentives when the government sees this company that has hired more and more Saudi national, and it kind of supports them and encourages them in projects. And we usually see it a lot when companies are looking to bid on projects with governmental entities in Saudi Arabia. When it comes from the negative side, which is also something that we need to highlight, hopefully no company has to pass by this, is that if you don't adhere to the Saudization, companies might face a blockage on their bank account, they might not be able to bid on any projects, they might not be able to hire expats or expand their business in Saudi Arabia. So any company has to look at this as not something that we can either or not do. It's a legal obligation that is required, and any company, we always advise them not to keep it till last minute. However, to always think about it before you expand and budget for it before you expand, because expansion in Saudi is not very cheap, but at the same time, you kind of need to lay out all your budgeting, all your costs to also revolve around you looking to hire Saudi national and adding these people into your team. So in regards to how the Saudization is calculated, as I mentioned before, it is depending on the industry and depending on the type of activity. So any company that expands requires something called a CR, which is a commercial registration where any company chooses a type of activity. So depending on what is registered under the CR and the type of activity that you have chosen, this is where you can have an idea on how much of a percentage you require to always be in the safe zone when it comes to the Saudization. However, the government do understands that companies that are expanding within the first year, first 6 months, it is a little bit harder to kind of figure out the whole recruitment process and hire and look for the people that you want to add. So a rule of thumb that they have created is that if the company stays below 6 employees in total, the first Saudi national will be able to cover that size of an organization. Once the company expands above 6 employees, then it will go into more specific, depending on the type of activity, depending on the license, depending also if you require any additional licenses for you to be able to get your Saudization quota. So I'm going to give an example. If a company is within, let's say, business consulting and business management, usually the Saudization ratio is 1:1. So every one non-Saudi you hire equals 1 Saudi that you must hire to kind of keep the quota there. Versus, for example, if it's a company that requires to do cybersecurity and requires the cybersecurity license in Saudi Arabia, they must hire at least 3 positions to be filled with Saudis in specific roles, in specific titles, to be able to get the license and to be able to hire expats. So there's a lot of nuances there when it comes to Saudization. It is a bit complicated because it changes every single week. There's always new rules, new regulations. It's always better to kind of partner with someone that do understand this, that they are expert within that kind of, let's say, field, because they will be able to help you, because not being compliant is a little bit risky key for organizations. So it's always good to stay up to date from the beginning and someone to support in putting this in place. So what are the best practices to meet the Saudization quota? What we have seen work, as I said, proactive workforce planning. It's very important. Any company that is expanding to Saudi to sit down with experts within this kind of field to understand like everything in regards to expanding and Saudization, to understand how many people they were required to operate in the kingdom, and also for these people to kind of help them build their team, build the strategy around that. Because one thing also to account for when it comes to Saudization is that it's not only on a company level, so it breaks down also per department. For example, 99.1% of the human resources department in Saudi Arabia has to be Saudi nationals, versus the business development department and sales, which is 50-50. So these nuances as well play a very vital role for you to be able to kind of plan your workforce, plan your recruitment effort, and know for every position that you might need in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to understand if this person needs to be a Saudi or a non-Saudi, and make sure that you're compliant at the end. Second, to meet Saudization quota, what we have seen with startup organization is that usually they've exhausted a lot of budget to be able to expand there, and they have put a lot of money, a lot of investment for them to be able to operate in the kingdom. And by that time, they might not be able to kind of afford a very senior level, a director level, a C-level kind of a position. So what we also have seen worked, and it's also have seen like retain talent in these kind of positions is also very high, is these startup companies bring in entry, like fresh graduate people or people that have 1 to 2 years of experience that usually come at a lower salary, but at the same time they are looking to grow in an organization. They want to grow, they want to learn, and they want to be more hands-on. And this kind of helps startup companies not to exhaust their budgets, but at the same time to open the opportunity for this person to grow as the company is growing in the kingdom. So investing in training and development, in these kind of people is also a hidden gem that we have seen grow very much. I can tell you that from all the hiring that we've done for 2024, 70 to 80% of the companies have chosen to go this route and hire fresh graduates and grow them within the organization, provide them with training opportunities, provide them also if they want to get higher degrees. So schooling have been a more successful route than bringing on someone more senior, specifically for startup organization that cannot really go and throw a lot of money and hiring C-level people. 3, collaboration with governmental initiatives. So Hadaf program is one of the programs that supports Saudization. For example, as Astrolabs, we have collaborated with top universities in Saudi. We also have we have also done partnerships with the alumni of the Saudi Ireland collaboration within universities, where we get our supplies of CVs. So these programs are also very important to get people that are fresh out of university, people that have really good degrees from top universities around Saudi and outside Saudi Arabia. And this kind of supports companies to kind of speed up the process and get Saudi nationals in a quicker way. And also there's the last thing is always review the compliance when it comes to Saudization. As I said, Saudization changes every week. Sometimes new percentages gets introduced. Sometimes more departments are being Saudized and localized. So there's always these small nuances that you need to kind of keep up to date, and also governmental portals that companies need to visit regularly and on a regular basis to be able to track their Saudization, track where they are on the Nitaqat platform, and ensure they don't go to the red Saudization, this is what I'm gonna be explaining a little bit now. So Here is the nitaqat, which is the Saudization ranges. So basically, this is the classification of every company that expands to Saudi, where they sit when it comes to the Saudization ratios. Anything other than red Saudization is very good. It means that the company is safe, it is compliant, they're not going to face any compliance issues, they're not going to get any issues because they haven't hired enough Saudi nationals. Definitely, the more you go up to the platinum and near to the platinum, the more let's say favorable, you will be favored above other people when it comes to bidding on projects and everything like that. But whether you are in low green, mid green, high green, or platinum, it means that you are compliant with the Saudization, and it means there's no danger whatsoever when it comes to your operations in Saudi Arabia. However, if your company goes on the red Saudization ratio, it means that you don't have enough Saudi, or you don't have Saudis whatsoever. Staying in this red zone for a lot of time will have a lot of issues that will come with it, whether it was, again, blockage on your bank account, you will not be able to bid on any projects in the kingdom, you might get fined as well, you will not be able to issue any residency for your expats or hire expats in general. So always make sure that once you expand, keeping in mind that once the expansion is done, automatically the company will fall under red Saudization if the general manager is not Saudi national. So you will have around 6 months to kind of figure it out. The quicker, the better, to kind of hire your first Saudi as your first employee after the general manager. And this is what we always advise to ensure that there's no interruption when it comes to hiring other people and expanding your operations. A few things just to keep in mind when it comes to Saudi Arabia. It's a very agile market. There's a lot of competitions. There's a lot of companies expanding. The demand on the Saudi labor has increased tremendously. So you need to always keep an open mind when it comes to hiring, that first, the recruitment process have to be speedy. So it's not like a market where you can take 2 to 3 months to find the right individual to onboard them. The average time to hire, and yes, you will find dropouts throughout this time as well, is 15 to 20 days. And that's usually how long it should take to hire a Saudi national. Anything more than that, it will risk losing this individual because, again, as you are looking for the right people, there's more than 100 companies that's also expanding to Saudi that are looking for the right people and similar positions as well. Second, you also need to account that salaries for Saudi nationals are typically 20 to 30% higher than market rate. It's not because they are Saudi, it's more of the demand on them is quite higher, and because they have specialized position and they are placed in specific positions, you always need to account for this 20 to 30% salary. Again, it's very important for you to go to an expert to support you in putting the benefit and packages and salaries and plan, because they've done a lot of research, and they know what exactly works and what will get rejected by candidates. So accounting for this 20 to 30% will be very good. 3, the cost to company to hire a Saudi national. By law, there are some things that you need to offer from a benefit perspective. 2 that are the most important. 1, something called GOSI. GOSI is basically like a social security scheme that the government and the Ministry of Human Resources have set for Saudi nationals. So this is also something that is paid every month on top of the salary to account for when it comes to your budgeting. 2 is health insurance. Health insurance by law has to cover all the dependents of the Saudi national, whether it was their parents or it was their spouse, their children. So anyone that is a dependent of the employee has to be on also the same insurance scheme. It doesn't have to be something international. It can be a local one. There's a lot of local providers that are very good that we also have partnered with them to support our clients. So they can be put on any health insurance, but this is also a must when it comes to the hiring a Saudi national. Again, there are a lot of things that are still yet to be covered, but for me as a company that's currently looking to expand to Saudi, this is the most important thing. I'm happy to take it on a one-to-one basis, support when it comes to building the recruitment strategy or supporting anyone that's looking to look and dig deeper. But yeah, that's it from my side.
And what came from your side was just amazing, because we really now understand how critical it is actually to consider Saudization in your strategy, how important it is to stay green. And if you want to stay green and even move to platinum, you know, you have the expert, and you can connect with Maria and with Astrolabs to have the right support there. So we're having a question from the audience about supporting a healthcare clinic setup in KSA and UAE. So it's a clinic that is coming from the UK. I guess the response is yes, because you'll need definitely qualified workforce. So this event is, or this webinar is focusing on startups, but the answer is definitely yes for all businesses. So, and you have Maria there for, Maria, want to add something on there?
Any company can expand to Saudi Arabia. However, you need to be very, you need to get specific approvals from your current government in the UK, as well as you need to get specific approvals from MISA, which before we touch base on, to be able to expand to Saudi. There's the financial aspect as well to be looking at, if the company is making money, all of this, and the type of activity that you will be choosing. Again, it's better to speak with a consultant for them to lay out everything in specific and the budget on how much it's going to cost when it comes to expansion, and if your company is one of the companies that can be expanded to Saudi, yes or no. Because again, not everyone can expand. There's a lot of regulations that companies have to go for before doing so.
Absolutely. And that's why you need experts to support you in this process, to make sure you're doing things right, and that you are managing and mitigating the risks related to expanding to Saudi. Thank you so much, Maria, for all the insights. If you don't mind, we'll be sharing your contacts with anyone who is interested. Feel free to reach out to us after the session through LinkedIn or here through the chat. We were really privileged to have you here, Maria. And with that, we're happy to move to the legal aspects of setting up your business in Saudi Arabia. Lots of questions are pending in the audience about setting up the business. So, Mohammed, we are more than ready for you and for setting up for the legal aspects related to setting up in Saudi. So Mohammed Al-Asamis was associate at Levari Law. Mohammed is a seasoned corporate and commercial lawyer with over 6 years of experience advising clients across the MENA region. And since he has joined Levari in 2017, he has specialized in corporate governance, intellectual property, employment law, regulatory matters. So we are speaking to the right person here when it comes to all legal aspects related to incorporating, to the process itself, to the risks, requirements, ownership, foreign investment, taxes, financial compliance. So I'll let you walk us through all these aspects, Mohammed, and we have tons of questions for you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction and for having me today. I am Mohammed Asamis, of course, and I'm representing Levari, an international law firm with offices in Cairo, Dubai, London, and Riyadh. I'm leading the corporate team in KSA, and today we will speak about the setting a company in KSA, the requirements, relevant authorities, how you can start, what is the required documents and the requirements or licenses, everything related to the incorporation. I'll try to cover as much as I can. So today we'll speak about the incorporation of the company, and basically, in order to incorporate the company, you should know that this should be done by the Ministry of Commerce, and this is in case of having a Saudi company, Saudi national or GCC national, and this is only restricted to 100% Saudi Arabian and GCC ownership. In case of being a Saudi or GCC national, you can incorporate your company straightforward by the Ministry of Commerce without any involvement from the Ministry of Investment, which is MISA. And in this case, you will require to provide the corporate document of the company. Let me highlight all the documents now so you can know what are the corporate documents that I mean when I mention corporate documents. Corporate documents refer to the commercial register, article of association, certificate of good standing of the company, and of course the power of attorney. These are the required documents from any company. But in case being an individual, you can have your company as well, but this requires to be a Saudi or GCC national. And in such a case, you will provide your national ID and electronic power of attorney from Abshir, and we can incorporate the company by the Ministry of Commerce. Once you incorporated the company, you will receive the commercial register of the Saudi entity along with the article of association approved by the Ministry of Commerce. This is the frame for incorporating the company, but being a foreign investment ownership or shareholder, this will take us to the Ministry of Investment. Being a foreign investment or include a foreign investment or foreign ownership in the company, this will take us to Ministry of Investment, and this will require to issue a main investment, MISA investment license from MISA before going to the regular or the process with the Ministry of Commerce. I'll highlight some of the common or important licenses related to each type of business, because operating or provide specific activity requires specific license from MISA. There are, as mentioned here, service license, entrepreneur license, industrial, commercial, professional, based on the type of business or activity. First one related to the service license, which we apply for in case of providing advertising, media, software, logistic services. And the more important thing related to the MISA license, the service one of MISA license is there is no minimum share capital to be included. For example, you can set up your company, issue the license, service license with 10,000 riyals or 1,000, whatever the amount itself. There is no minimum required. And it's important to provide the audited financial statements of the last financial year of your holding company. So now we are speaking about the company incorporated in any jurisdiction that are going to incorporate a company in Saudi. So first of all, you will provide the corporate documents that I have mentioned, along with the financial statements audited and attested before the Saudi embassy in the jurisdiction of the company. The next type is related to entrepreneur, which is different from the previous one, related to the fees of the license. It's a discounted fees, which is 2,000 riyals instead of 12 for the first year, and while renewing the license, you only pay 2,000 riyal again for the first 5 years, instead of renewing the license by, I think, 62,000 riyals. But the interesting part here is there is an updated investment law issued, I think, 2 months ago, related to the investment law, which will be enforced in by 2025. And there is highlights about the law that they will cancel the MISA license. This is to attract more companies to incorporate and expand their businesses in Saudi, which is amazing. Next one related to industry. If you are going to provide heavy industry or light one, you will issue a MISA industrial license without minimum share capital as well. And being operating in manufacturing or providing advisory activities that will require further licenses and permits after the incorporation, which we call it as post-incorporation licenses, that we should issue a license from the Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources. Next type of license related to the real estate. Here I can provide the property finance, which will require minimum share capital with 200 million real and ownership of a Saudi national by 40%. And if you are providing investment in property, that will require 30 million riyals. And actually investing or building related in Mecca and Medina are excluded. We will speak about some excluded activities today as well. Next one related to trading, general trading, e-commerce, wholesale, retail, any activity related to trading. This will require commercial license from MISA before we go to the Ministry of Commerce as well. And in this case, we will differentiate between being 100% foreign ownership and having a Saudi partner as a shareholder in the company. Being 100% foreign ownership, this will require a minimum share capital of 30 million riyal, and you should provide 3 corporate documents for 3 different entities in 3 different jurisdictions. For example, if I'm going to do trading in Saudi, I need to incorporate a company with the minimum share capital, and I should provide the corporate documents for my main holding company along with another 2 additional entities. For example, if I'm providing or setting the company with an Egyptian company, I should provide, for example, corporate documents for a company incorporated in London and another one incorporated in UAE, for example. So this is to be a 100% foreign ownership. In case having a Saudi national as a shareholder, this will require specific ownership percentage, which is 25%, and the minimum share capital will be reduced to be 26 million riyals instead of 30, which is not very big discount, or I think it's almost the same. Next one related to the activities of providing professional services like engineering, accounting, law, which requires having a Saudi shareholder in the company, and the Saudi shareholder should have specific percentage, which is 25 of the company, and the non-Saudi shareholder should be not more than 30%. And this will require no require share capital, but in case of 100% ownership as well without a Saudi shareholder, this will require to provide some specific requirements like the commercial one, but related to the professional license, you should provide 4 companies in different jurisdictions. Of course, all the corporate documents of each company of them should be attested before the Saudi embassy. And you should provide a history or something like a CV that showing the experience of the company with at least 10 years of experience in the relevant field or activity. I think this is the last license, which is temporary based on a specific project or matter with a government or a semi-government authority. In this case, you will obtain the license with only a duration of the contract or the project itself. For example, if you are going to do X project for 2 years, so the license will be issued only for 2 years and will be expired automatically. And you will only need to submit a letter from the government or a contract signed by your company and the government entity in KSA, so you can obtain your temporary license. The third type is if you are going to set up a branch of your foreign company. In this case, you are going just to have a commercial register for your company, and the shareholder will be the same like you are incorporating, but this is without having article of association. So you will only receive the commercial register, and it will be a branch of the foreign company. And in all cases, not for only the branch, if you are operating specific activity, we should check. This is, you know, as if we are setting the roadmap, how you can navigate incorporating the company. But in all cases, you will need to check based on the activity itself, if you have to obtain further licenses or you need to obtain a permit from specific authority or government. Finally, the businesses excluding from foreign investment, there are by the investment law. I'm not sure if this will be changed by the updated investment law. We are waiting for the executive regulations of the updated investment law. But there are some activities excluded from foreign investment. So foreign companies cannot operate such activities. One of them related to oil exploration, catering to military sectors, and real estate investment in Mecca and Medina, and some other activities as per the effective law, investment law. I think now we can receive some questions.
Brilliant. Yeah. Very spot on, very technical and relevant. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Questions from the audience came earlier on the ownership. Do we need a GCC national for incorporating software startup as well? So in general, the level of ownership by a Saudi national in a business, whether it's a software or hardware business.
No, I think being operating in or your activity is a software startup, you can do it even if you are not a Saudi or GCC, but you will need to incorporate your company in Saudi with a holding company, for example, in your jurisdiction or any other jurisdiction, even if it's a holding company. And actually, this is what we do when we have a potential client want to expand in KSA. We sit together and we put a structure for his corporate structure. For example, if you have a corporate company and it's acting as a holding company and owns your operational entities in every jurisdiction you operate, so we can incorporate the Saudi entity with the holding company. So in this case, I believe if you have a holding company or if you don't have a corporate holding company and you have operational company, you will need to set up the Saudi company with your company, which is the holding or the operational one.
Okay, so there was another question from Abu Abeida about creating the company, whether the right strategy is actually to create the company in ADGM or Dubai, then create a subsidiary in KSA.
Exactly.
This is probably one of the strategies many companies are adopting. And yeah, Mohammed, more to that.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm just saying is you will have your holding company in any offshore jurisdiction free zone like ADGM, and after that you will create or set up your operational entity in KSA with the ADGM entity acting as a 100% ownership or shareholder of the company operating in KSA. So yeah, you need to have an ADGM entity so you can set up your KSA entity in case not being a Saudi national or GCC national.
All right. So another question about incentives and free zones for international setting up companies in Saudi.
Okay. In some reasons, such as free zone. Actually, I think just to understand this more, Ahmed, you mean to set up in Saudi your company as operational company, or you mean set up with a company based in free zone?
Both.
Thank you. So, being a person, if you are not a Saudi, you cannot set up your company in Saudi. So you will need to have it, through another company. So again, being a Saudi or GCC national, you can go and set up the company with the Ministry of Commerce, straightforward, nothing required from MISA or Ministry of Investment. But being a foreigner, you will set up your Saudi company through a holding or any other company based in any other jurisdiction, ADGM, Egypt, Jordan, wherever. So if you are going to set up in Saudi and you are not a Saudi, you will have to set up a company through your holding company in any other jurisdiction. I hope this answers your question.
I think it does. And I think the topic of the legal topic is such a big topic and very important when you are thinking of expanding your business. So we've covered today aspects related to the licenses and to the incorporation, but we'll hopefully cover new to other topics in the coming episodes, and hopefully with the support of Livari as well. So taxes, financial compliance, benefits under specific programs, timelines, and costs for incorporating and growing your business. What are the common mistakes and practices, future legal landscape before expecting in the near future any new laws and new reforms, etc. All this and more will be covered in future sessions. And with this, we say a big thank you to Mohammed Assamis for stepping in and for joining us today and sharing all these insights. You know where to find more. You can see the contact details of Mohammed, and either through a QR code or take a picture of the screen, or you'll find the recording on the BetaWaves and the Qabastech LinkedIn pages. Thank you, Mohammed. And with that, we'll now move to our fireside chat with the two startups who have successfully incorporated in Saudi Arabia and are growing their business nicely in Saudi Arabia. So we have Ziad Boufadin, who is founder and CEO of Technozor. And then we have Mahdi Mrabit, CPO of Cleo Labs, replacing Remy Joris. So very happy to have you guys, and we're looking forward to hearing your stories of expanding to Saudi. So maybe we start by the quick pitch of what does your company do? Who are your clients? Your journey. Tell us about your story, and what was the tipping point or key factor that made you decide for Saudi Arabia is the right place for your business. Ziad.
Yeah, thank you, Aman. Really, it's it's pretty interesting to share our experience in the kingdom. Honestly speaking, is I have been in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, especially in Riyadh, for the past 10 years. And post-corona is we have seen a huge demand. It's I left back to Tunis, and with just few trips, I see the country is moving and changing every day. You see, it's from week to week, you see new building, new roads, and new businesses opening, and so on and so on. And at that point is we have seen that opportunity to potentially explore is engaging with customers in Saudi Arabia. And it was for the past 3 years, we are building certain trust with customer partners and people that we know on the market, helping them in both digital transformation and data consulting. These are the main activity that we do. Sorry. And that's it. I think it's maybe Mahdi will take over.
Perfect. Handing over to Mahdi.
Thanks for having me. And tell me if you can hear me properly, by the way.
We do.
Perfect. So Cleo Labs is a company that specializes in visualization solutions for real estate developers. It originated in Switzerland. So, the company started working with Swiss developers. And after a travel of Remy, actually, in Riyadh, a year back, something like this, it was a no-brainer, considering the local market, that we needed to get closer to Riyadh and, get to connect with local actors. and he already spent a few months trying to connect with local actors, discover the market, better understand what's going on. And now we're really in the process of moving a part of the core team in Riyadh and spend as much time as possible to really accelerate on what we're doing. On one end, you could say that we have an agency business, on the other end, a product business. So this is the perfect, I would say, sandbox to actually test solutions and grow progressively up the business.
Okay, and tell us more about when you have started the process of setting up properly in Saudi, and what was how did this go from practical steps perspective? So there was the first impressions, the wow, this is the place for me, and now okay, now I'm moving to connect with the market, to set up in the market. How did this work?
So when it comes to Clio Labs, it's really a matter of, I would say, connections that Remy was able to make. First and foremost, he managed to connect with our current chairman, which is very well established in the region, which allowed us to actually connect with a team of advisors that's been in Riyadh or in the area for the past few years, which helped us a lot, especially on the legal side of things. So that's very important. The other thing is, it was also very important for us to be there physically, because one of the things that we really learned, especially in the past couple of months, is that you can't do business. Especially, we have part of our business is operated remotely. We have artists that we work with, in Eastern Europe, for instance, sometimes engineers as well. But if you really want to conduct business here in Riyadh, you need to be there physically. So it was kind of, I'd say, a thought process that started with connecting with the right, advisors, partners, environment, moving to, trying to actually experience the market firsthand. Like we've been to Cityscape Riyadh, for instance, a couple of months back. So we also got to really connect with the clients, really understand what's going on, how can we actually provide real value to them. So yeah, I would say started with the connections and trying to spend time physically to really understand what's going on.
Yeah, Dalia mentioned that also earlier, that this is a market where you really need to show up, to be present, to be on the ground. Just expecting to work seamlessly when you are just doing remote is not a good idea. So how about you, Ziad?
So it's like the question is like, I do believe that Amal always is like, when it comes to business, is like either you expand physically or like at least virtually. And one of the stop shower in the kingdom is like, as Dalia mentioned and many others, is like the operation cost is like can get stratospheric. It's like it can go like exponentially the more like you get into the market. So I do believe the first step is like for startups is at least to start building some understanding of the ecosystem, especially when I speak is like in our area when it comes to digital kind of services and products. Most of the demand is like through like government investment. Is like you see so much spending from the government, and in order to like be able really is like to get to these kind of like interesting and big contracts is like always you need to be, especially it's like for startups, you need to be on the secondary positions. It's like being on the first one means like a hassle of like account management, sales, project management, and so on and so on, where you can offload that one to certain trustful partner, and you can you focus on the delivery side. So the first step was like building certain bridges. It's like start building like relationship with the right partners, including like big players like in the kingdom. You can quickly spot them due to like the concentration of projects and so on and so on. And from there you can move slowly on like being physically is like incorporated in Saudi Arabia. Otherwise, well, I do believe it's pretty risky for people to go where at least your operation cost will be like around 500K yearly without doing anything, you see. So you need to account for that. So from the point where we have seen certain traction and momentum, we start physically being more present. But on the long term run, it's always it's good to have the right kind of partners in the kingdom to work with them. Being on the prime position is comes with the good and also with the bads. Yeah.
Okay, so sounds like I'm hearing that partners is a key term or key word in the conversation. and key success factor for actually establishing properly. So tell us about the partnerships you have tried to establish. How did you go about that? And any learnings on that front? Any challenges when it came to finding the right partner? And how did you know that your partners are the right ones for you? What were the criteria?
The risk is always there. It's like I think as like a startup, we take risk by default, and I do believe like similar to Dr. Emma is like we mentioned that the risks are there. You see, so you need to be very aware of like the cash flow issue. Also, opportunities takes time. It's like the least kind of like sales process here is like around like 9 months to at least 1 year and a half to start getting some tractions. And I do believe like you need to take risks at the first moment to select your like partner, especially is like the big one will not like be dealing with you directly. It will be like you know it's like chain of command. You see, so it's like you'll find like many people like in the middle places sitting there on term for relationship. To get really to the game is like you need to do at least one engagement and people should trust you on that, you see. So in the kingdom is like there is a culture shift. It's not like you are good technically it means like you are in. It's like do we trust you are in? That's the different like kind of like culture that people should understand. And the second one is like it's not like hit and run. It's like it's pretty impossible to be in the position to, let's say, come for like 2-3 months and get opportunity. That's pretty like impossible. Otherwise, like you have some like political push from like certain embassy, that would be good for you, but it doesn't happen always, you see. So
Mahdi, how about you? How did this work for Clio Labs?
Absolutely agree with what Ziad just said. Like, in the first place, you will have to deal with a lot of middlemen to actually connect with the right people, and it's all about creating trust. So you need to deliver first. Make sure that you can deliver what you said you were going to deliver. If you're able to do it 1 or 2 times, then you can create some trust. Then you can move to the next stage. Then maybe you can cut out some middlemen in the process. And yeah, I think it also resonates with the fact that you actually need to be there. I feel like there are many people that are really excited about this market, really want to give it a try, but think that they can kind of manage everything from a distance. And as he had mentioned, you can't just stay there for 2 months and think that things are going to go get the ball rolling and that's it. You need to be there for real. So yeah, absolutely, I agree with what he had just said. Same experience, to be honest.
Okay. And were there on the way to succeeding in Saudi and getting it really big in Saudi? Any adjustments you had to bring to your product, to your service, even to your business model to fit the requirements of the Saudi market?
So I think on our side.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Mahdi.
So yeah, on our side, one of the most important thing is the pace at which the market goes when it comes to real estate sales. So basically, we provide real estate developers with visualization solutions, so mostly off-plan projects, and going further with the conversation with these guys, it's like, okay, now we have 1 week to start selling this particular project, so we need to appraise the content ASAP. So you really need to understand that this market is moving really fast. So you can't just operate the same way you would do in Europe, for instance, where it's way slower. The other thing is, a very good example is like, we provide a platform, and actually we're going to provide different versions of this platform in the future to our clients. And we need to think when it comes to the UI UX with an Arabic first approach, for instance, which is very important because, even though some projects are going to be highlighted during international affairs and events, at the end of the day, most of their clients are Saudis. So you need an Arabic first approach when it comes to the product. So yeah, of course, there are definitely things you need to account for when it comes to the product and service. And I would say, again, as he had mentioned it earlier, it's not just about having the best products, it's about having the biggest trust in your ability to actually deliver for the clients. This is more important. And this is why networking and connecting with the right partner is so important in Saudi Arabia.
Brilliant. Ziad.
Yeah, I do believe the same. This is where it comes to, let's say, the customer requirement. Also, it's like I do believe I do agree with Mahdi. Is like in terms of like the last minute call. You see, so many things in Saudi Arabia happen on the last minute call, and honestly speaking, is like good luck with that. You see, so it's like you will get just a call today, we'll deliver tomorrow, and that's like part of the culture. Either you adopt yourself, or like you will be out of the market, because like we can give you twice a call. If you don't respond, the third one would be silent mode forever. You see, so that's the kind of like approach people cannot understand, especially like if you are like in very well developed markets such as like Europe, like Asia, and so on and so on. People are like more used to the process, clear timelines, reasonable kind of discussion, and logical kind of like grounded truth where we discuss together, which is not the case like when it happens here in Saudi Arabia. That's the first one. And the second one is like I think is like people should be very aware of the compliance framework existing on the market. So now it's like you have the cloud first strategy from the GA, where if you have a product, it will be impossible for you to run like remotely. Otherwise, you will go through like a kind of like control through like a PDPL, GDPR like process. And you need to be honest, is like one of the key success criteria on the market. You need to understand like the ecosystem. So we speak DGA, Moshaad, Sadaya, and these kind of players like dictating the game on the market. You see, so and by the way, those are like driving all the growth happening on the market. It's like it's coming from like the Vision 2030 to the regulation body to the implementation level, where most of the partners and customers are looking to fulfill the requirement. So yeah, I do believe like the first one is through being in a rush, understanding the culture, saying no if you need, and keeping like in like the, let's say, good relationship with people in ways like they will get you on. One like other problems, to be honest, I do believe on startups is like the when like the switch is like go from off to on, you need to keep up with the momentum. It's like as soon as people trust you, you will keep like requesting calls from you everywhere, and being able to fulfill that demand is pretty hard, just in case.
Brilliant insights. I would love that. So you need to be patient at the beginning until things get started, and once they are there, you need to really to deliver and deliver fast. Because it's very interesting to hear that the market is a fast-moving market, is a very agile market compared to Europe. So this is a very often misconception about the market. So being ready for to deliver next day once you receive a WhatsApp message is actually not a common practice in Europe. So well done, guys, on that front. So did you have the opportunity to leverage any government support for you to get started or to grow? Any programs you've been part of, or you just made your way through all the challenges on your own?
So on our side, for the moment, I would say that we've been through this process of dealing with the entrepreneurship visa, but outside of this, it's not direct support that we've benefited from. It's more like we've benefited from the experience of former PIF members, for instance, advising us, in every aspect of the business when it comes to the legal side of things, the sales side of things, the product even. So I'd say it's indirect for the moment, for the most part. But even the market we're dealing with, to be honest, is growing so fast because of the government support. So either way, even if it's not direct, you can feel the presence and the support at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Ziad, do you want to add something?
Yeah, it's like for us, it's the same. It's like we are going pretty organic, to be honest. It's like I do believe it's good to have like certain incentives on the market that will give you some like small air to breathe. But the issue is like people always ignore the part is like it's a question of cash flow. You see, so it's like, did you sell? If yes, it's pretty easy to decide. So there are certain programs, to be honest, like we are looking around. We didn't go that way. We are going mainly organic. But like there are many programs in Saudi Arabia right now where including relocation programs for startups that have done like pre-seed and seed like kind of fundraisings. There are many incubators and accelerators that will help you to, let's say, smooth like your onboarding here in Saudi Arabia. But it's like with all of that, if you didn't be able to sell the first time, always bear in mind like the operation costs, you see. So
yeah, so true. Yeah, Absolutely. And when you look back now, how do you measure your success in this market compared to your expectations? So when you came in, what did you have in mind? How did your Saudi business plan look like? How does it work now? Did it exceed your expectations, or the costs were just too high? How did it work?
So when it comes to Kilo Labs, I'd say that we're really in this position where we knew we would have to transition from strictly service to product sooner or later, but now we really feel the pain that comes with it because of the demand that comes with it. So I'd say, yeah, the biggest difference, or the biggest takeaway is, since we've been able to better understand the market, connect with important actors in our specific niche, it kind of forces us, to transition faster from one model to another and get to the next stage for the company. So it's painful, but at the same time, it means that we're going the right direction. And yeah, that's good stuff at the end of the day. So
Yeah, it's like I do believe it's the same. I remember this from the first time I came here in Saudi Arabia, working with like one of the biggest startup in Saudi. We have pretty simple KPI that we joke about. It is like we move offices every year. You see, so it's like it was pretty simple. It's like, are we growing a new office? Are we growing a new office? And we have done that 5 times. You see, so it was pretty simple one. Yeah, it was pretty simple one. That is like the same like kind of KPI made by Elon Musk for like population collapse. It's like diapers sales. You see, it was pretty simple one, and the same happens for us. You see, so it's like the KPI is pretty. Is like, are we moving from one office to another? Okay, things are like moving fine. So
beautiful. Tell us before we close, about your growth plans. So besides opening 20 other new offices, how do you see the future for your company?
120, it's too much. It's like I will leave that to Mehdi. It's like I don't believe so. It's like, I think it's like one of the plan is like to it's like one of the issues like with the Saudi Arabian market is like the cash flow part. Is like you see like your financial statements like going up and down, and that's not pretty good for us as businesses, because like we need to have certain linear growth.
Why is the cash flow going up and down? Is it a question of payment delays? What's the reason?
It's payment delays, it's payment delays, both sides, like from government to companies, and from companies to companies to start contract. That's the first one. The second one is like I think there is a shift in mindset in Saudi Arabia when it comes to signing off projects. You see, so it's like you can do the best, but still you struggle to sign off to get your payments, and those is like case by case become like a macro problem in your company when it comes. You see up and downs, without kind of like agility and flexibility in this kind of like operational actions, you might like say, guys, like I get bored with this, let me leave. You see, so we need to bear that by default. So delays, payment and cash flow, signing off with customers is not that easy at all. Also is like certain complexity, especially with the small kind of like subcontract and partners, that they might be in the position where, as I mentioned by I forget, sorry, it's like I'm checking the names. For like recruitment is like you can like your partner can go for like, yeah, so your partner can go for like from green to red, and everything goes red down. You see, so so the strategy I do believe is like to at least be in 2 markets. One where we have the cash flow is like pretty stable, and that will give you the fuel to burn more in Saudi Arabia and create more value in Saudi Arabia. That's the case.
Beautiful. Future perspectives, Mehdi.
So yeah, it's very interesting because most of what Ziad's been talking about, I can relate as well, and I'm pretty sure we could have some interesting conversation after this meeting. But yeah, on our side, yeah, definitely. But on our side, it's mostly related to transitioning again from service and going further with the software side of things to scale. What we're able to deliver for the clients. Now that we are more connected to the market, having some growth in terms of sales, new leads coming in regularly, and really stabilize the activity. And it also comes with, I'd say, partnerships, not only with clients, but partners that can help us, and maybe partners from outside that we can bring into the country as well, because this is also part of the strategy we're working with. we believe, you know, there are opportunities for many, and we can also act as a kind of a bridge to have, you know, more power into the offers that we provide to our clients with.
Okay, fantastic. And then I've just learned that it's now official. Saudi Arabia will host the World Cup 2034 tournament, and FIFA has just confirmed that. So congratulations to Saudi. This is such a good news, really cool. And before closing, I'd love to invite everyone to open their cam if they'd like. We'd like to have a group picture, test if this is gonna work. And then, yeah, please open your cams I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then we go group picture, say hi, say something or nothing, or just, yeah. So, yeah, Shukran, you're taking the group picture. Just give us a sign when it's done. It's done?
We do see 2 people. It's like Amal Saidan is like, that's pretty nice.
That's my Susie. Yeah, she's.
I'm not sure they can. I'm not sure they can open their cameras, everyone. So
Yeah, please do that. And Mini-Me is giving us an assignment. Okay, so we gave it a chance. Let's please just reminding you before we close that we're kindly asking you to fill in. You cannot open the cam. Maybe it's not enabled. Quran.
yes, I will check with that.
Okay. So no one is able to open the cam.
It depends. It's like, I think it's only for speakers.
Yeah, I
or
think
including the host, yeah.
But just a quick reminder in the meanwhile that when you're leaving, we're kindly asking you to fill in a small form to know what kind of topics we'd like us to cover in the upcoming sessions. So please take the time to fill in a very short form. And I think if we're not good yet with the cam thing, thank you. Thank you very much, because it's a webinar, probably because of that. Absolutely. Yeah, so let's skip the picture. We were very happy to have you, everyone. Thank you for those who were the persistent ones, the survivors who waited until the very end. The very practical content and aspects came actually at the very end, real life experiences. So thank you very much for being there. Thank you to our speakers. It was such a pleasure to have you. What an amazing session, what an amazing content. We'll be sharing all this on our LinkedIn page, the BetaWaves and the Qabastech LinkedIn pages. You can find the content there. And have a great evening wherever you are. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.